Hey, it's part two, and we've made a tiny bit of progress on the car. There's fewer things in the engine bay, as you may or may not notice, but we pulled out basically the whole AC system, at least all the underhood AC system. I figured out with the transmission what I need to do, and I'll show you that in a second. But what I found out, when I was going to try and start diagnose the engine, test it and everything like that, make sure I'm getting fuel, spark, all the basic stuffs. Well, I found out, and I had the car up on jack stands, that without the gear selector mechanism in place, that it was actually still in gear, so it lurched forward and almost fell down on top of me. So that's just a warning for everyone. Make sure that when you're working on it, even when you don't have a shifter in, your car may not be in neutral, so always be careful, be safe out there. I bought a seat, so we are closer to being a race car now. This is actually a pretty nice seat. It's not, I don't want to say it's brand new, because the guy had it in his daily driver, but I think it's in pretty good shape considering. There was like a little bit of wear down at the bottom, but way nicer than what I was expecting to find for a used seat. So yeah, we started pulling some of the stuff out. The radio's out. That shifter and everything's been out. Now, when I was working on this, this was something I didn't notice before, and it took some figuring out to figure out what it was. Someone out there might actually know right away what it is, but I did not know right away. I know that, there's always the dumb things on Facebook that's like, oh, like and share if you remember what this is, and it's just a button for high beams, but like and share if you know what that is. I'll give you a few minutes to make angry comments at the bottom of Facebook, or the bottom of the comment section, say, blah, blah, this is this. But it's actually the manual pump for the windshield washer, because it doesn't have an electric one. I need to rip out the back seat still. Need to rip out the headliner, door panels, basically rip out a whole interior. Get it all gone. But we started ripping some of it out. One thing that was very important was we took the grill off, because it's incredibly difficult and annoying to work on the car with the grill on. I need to talk about the shifter. Let me move the parts bucket out of the way. So, I made some important discoveries after I took it all apart. I found some stuff out important about the shifter. I've cleaned some of it up, but down in here, all that crap that was in there was actually a plastic bushing that has a cap, and there's actually several plastic bushings that are missing from this whole assembly, or they're kind of there, but only remnants are. Anyway, so I found a website online, not the best website, but it was the only place that I could actually find these parts for sale, so I ordered them. I'm waiting for those to come so I can put this back together. But basically, this is the mechanism that was causing the issue. And I've tried a little bit fixing it, and actually I have it kind of halfway put back together. But, so you can see, this part rides along here, and then it selects which gear shifter. So, and then down in here, there's a hole that this sits in. So when this thing moves back and forth, it moves this just so you can change the angle. So when you're going into reverse, it's over here, first, second, and then it's at a different angle. So what I'm going to do, because I've tried, it's supposed to, this, it's not a bearing, I don't know what to call it, but this cylinder is supposed to catch on this lip here and stay up. But every time it moves over, it falls down, and then it won't go back up. So it's supposed to, when you tighten down this nut, this spring is in tension, and so it rocks back and forth like that. But when you move it over here, it falls down. Now, I don't know why. I tried squeezing this in so it holds it up, but it just binds it, and that's why I could only get into 2 of the gears. I couldn't get back over to where reverse was. So what I'm going to do, since the Lemons car doesn't need to be fancy, I am just going to basically weld everything, make it all solid. And so instead of when you go into reverse and third and fourth, it's over in that angle, it's basically going to be like a gated shifter, how that straight up and down doesn't change angle. It's just moving straight up and down, which is good enough for a race car. So that's what I'm going to do. That's the solution. Although I'm just waiting for those bushings to show up. They're coming from Thailand, unfortunately. That was the only place that I could get them. So they take like 28 business days to get here. But when they do get here, I can replace all these bushings, get it all greased up, and then just weld this thing all together, make it all nice one big piece. So that's the update. I have a whole bunch of parts that have come in to rebuild the carbs and replace a lot of the ignition parts and all sorts of different things like that. And that'll be kind of the next video, replacing some of this stuff, putting those transmission parts back in. That way I can actually diagnose it and the car doesn't try and roll forward and kill me. And then maybe we'll get it fired up someday, or maybe we'll start a cage, or maybe we'll just fucking crush it and not do anything. Who cares? Whatever. Bye.